Now we'll convert these operations, that is two case of operations, into one mathematical expressions. That means in first unit we have seen the block diagram representation for single area load frequency control. Now we are going to derive those blocks, this transfer function of those blocks in detail. So we are going to start the modeling from speed governor and then turbine, and at last we are going to model generator load model. So let us start with modeling of speed governor. And in speed governor, the main modeling will happen because of the movements on the rigid links. So we have to start with movement on point A, and point A is moving because of the command signal given by the speed changer. We have to take that as equation number 1. So both are directly proportional. If you are going to remove the proportionality sign, we have to add a constant. And del refers to the slight change in its movement. And for movement on B, and B is moving because of the frequency fluctuation as input to the flyball speed changer. So like equation number 1, we can write equation number 2. And third one is movement on C, and C is moving due to point A and also due to point B. Let us start with the movement of C due to point A. We can represent that as del XC dash. And this is the rigid link, what we have seen in the last slide, that is in speed governing mechanism. And we are having the movement of A in the downward direction. Because of that, point C is moving in the upward direction. So now we have to derive a relation between a movement of A with movement of C. So by using basic engineering mechanics, now we are going to find the equation for this movement. And del XA is moving because of the length between C and B. Here point B is fixed. Here this diagram represents the case 1 operation. So del XA is moving with respect to the length of length between point B and C, and likewise del XC is going to have a movement due to length between point A and B. So for deriving an equation, we can say that usually we used to represent positive sign for the downward movement and negative sign for the upward movement. But whereas in this case, if you are going to start from point A, it is forming a loop. So if we are going to start from point A, we have to make a movement in the upward direction at point C, and again it is going to come back to point C. So it is forming a loop. So like a KVL in electric circuit, here by using some basic engineering mechanics, we are going to get this equation. So this is equation number 3. And second movement on C is due to point B. And point B is having that relation with del F, so we can say, and because of point B, C is moving in the downward direction. So both point B and C are having the same direction in its movement. So we can directly relate that del XC double dash is directly proportional to KF into del F. So on the whole, if we want to find the movement on C, we have to add this equation number 3 and 4. And after adding these two, we can get this equation number 5 as minus K1 del PC plus K2 into del F, because we are going to take this L1 by L2 into Kc as a new constant, that is K1. And now we'll see the movement on point D, and likewise, taking equation number 5 as reference, we can derive the movement on D with respect to point C and point E. So the equation number 6 we can write as del XC equal to K3 del XC plus K4 into del XC. Now we'll see the movement on point E, and the point E refers to the movement of a main piston. So the main piston moves only because of the high pressure oil entering via the pilot valve into the hydraulic cylinder. And so the main piston movement, this point E moves mainly purely based on the quantity of oil available in the hydraulic cylinder. So the quantity of oil we can say as a volume of the oil in the cylinder. So we can get the relation between the movement of point E with respect to point D, because of that movement on point D only we are having the flow of high pressure oil into the hydraulic chamber, that is cylinder. So here, as I said earlier, for the downward direction in the movement we have to take positive sign, and whereas for the upward direction of movement we have to take minus sign. So here we are going to have a line integral for the movement on point D, because in order to have a downward direction on point E, we are having upward direction at point D. So we are going to consider that as minus del xd. So we are going to have a line integral with respect to time. So this is equation number 7. And now we are going to take Laplace transform for equation number 5, 6 and 7. So here we are considering movement on C, movement on D and then movement on E. So after converting those equations into a Laplace transform, we will be getting equation number 8, 9 and 10 respectively. And here at last equation we are having integral of del xt with respect to t. We know the relation between time domain and s domain. The t is equal to 1 by s. So in order to have equations in s domain, we have to take the value of t as 1 by s. Here in equation number 7 we had dt in the numerator. So here we are having 1 by s at equation number 10. So now at last we have to get the value of del xc of s. Here at equation number 10 we are having del xc of s, but it is in terms of del xt of s. So now we are going to substitute equation number 9 in equation number 10. So in order to replace del xt of s. So after simplifications, we are going to get equation number 11 as minus k3 k5 divided by s into del xc of s. And here in equation number 11 we are having del xc of s. So we are going to substitute equation number 8 in 11. So after substituting, we are going to get this equation as k1 k3 divided by k4 into del pc of s minus k2 by k1 into del f of s, the whole divided by 1 plus s divided by k4 into k5. So now our objective is we have to model the speed governor, turbine and generator load as a transfer function block. So here for getting a transfer function model, we need a gain value and then time constant that should be in the s domain. So here we can replace this entire constants as a equivalent constant, that is gain constant kg, and here we are having two inputs del pc of s into del f of s. Here we are having another constant, this coefficients of del f of s. We can replace this as 1 by r is nothing but the speed regulation, or we can say as a group value. And here in the denominator we are having 1 plus s into some value. For getting a transfer function we need the coefficient of s should be a time constant for a particular model. So we can replace this 1 by k4 k5 s time constant, that is Tg. So this is the final equation, this is final model of speed governor. And with this equation number 12, we are going to develop a transfer function model for speed governor. Here we are having a model for the speed governor, this kg divided by 1 plus s tg, and it is having two inputs, del pc and another one is del f of s. It is going to be in the negative feedback via a constant, this coefficient 1 by r. So this is the final equation for speed governor with block diagram representation. Now we'll see the modeling of turbine. Basically we are having several arrangements for turbine construction, but here we have taken two stages in the turbine along with the reheater. So now the steam valve, that is if you are admitting more pressurized steam into the turbine, it is going to convert this high pressure steam into a mechanical output. That will happen in this high pressure stage, and at the time of the energy conversion, that is steam is converting into mechanical output. At the time, there will be a loss of the steam, and that loss of steam we can say as a exhausted steam at HP stage, that is high pressure stage, and that exhausted or wasted steam will be given as input to the reheater, and this reheater is going to reheat the exhausted, that is wasted steam from the HP stage, and that reheater is going to convert that waste steam into a high pressure steam, and that steam is again going to get converted into a mechanical output by using low pressure stage, because the pressure coming from the steam valve will not be equal after the pressure coming from the reheater. So here also we are having a steam, and here also we are having a steam, but the pressure at the steam at this inlet valve is very much higher than the pressure of steam coming into the LP stage. Here in the very first stage also we are having an energy conversion, and in second stage too we are having an energy conversion. But for converting the steam into a mechanical output using HP stage, we didn't require much time. But whereas for converting the steam coming from the reheater into a mechanical output, we required some time, because the reheater is going to process only the wastage happening at the energy conversion at stage 1. So obviously that LP stage is going to take much time for converting those steam into a mechanical output. So altogether we are having different time responses for getting an overall mechanical output. So that we can say this energy conversion as the dynamic response. So in this two-stage steam turbine, the dynamic response is influenced by two factors. One is due to the high pressure steam entering from that inlet valve to the HP stage. It is stage number 1, and that wasted heat steam is going into the reheater, and this reheater is converting that to some moderate level of pressurized steam, and that will be given as input to the LP stage. So because of these two different level of steams, that is levels in pressure of steam, we are having different time constants for the modeling of turbine. But we are going to consider this entire stage as the one unique turbine model. So now we are, for getting the turbine model, we are going to have a equivalent time constant. So equivalent in the sense we are going to have a combination of both HP and LP stage. So the turbine model will be having a time constant PT, which is equivalent time constant, and KT as a gain constant. So the output of turbine is del PT of S, or we can say that as a del PG of S. The input is del XE of S, because the output of speed governor will be an input to the turbine. And the last one is modeling of generator load model. Consider that we are having a sudden increase in the load. It means usually we used to represent power demand as PD. Now we are going to consider a sudden increase in the power demand. So we are going to consider that as del PD, and because of that sudden increase in load, what we have to do is we have to increase the steam coming into the turbine. It means we have to increase the level of del PG. Here the output of turbine is del PG, so we have to increase the level of del PG in order to meet out this increased load demand. But at the instant of sudden increase in del PD, we not even given the rise command to the speed governing mechanism. So before that, after the instant of sudden increase in load demand, we can have a increase in power generation before increasing the input coming to the turbine. So the turbine input can be increased only after receiving the command signal from the speed changer. But now we are not even given a speed command signal to increase the step, and before giving the command signal we can see the output power generation, this increased output power generation at the generator output, and that increase in that power generation is mainly because of the stored kinetic energy in the generator, and that increase in power we used to call that as a net surplus power. So the difference between del Pg and del Pd we used to call that as a net surplus power, and that sudden increase in power generation before increasing the turbine input, we are calling that as an incremental power change. It may happen because of the increasing kinetic energy in the rotor generator at the rate of dW divided by dt, or maybe because of the increased load consumption, that is del Pd with respect to del F. So now we are going to have a modeling of generator with respect to these two factors. The very first one is by increasing the kinetic energy in the rotor generator, because we have to increase the power generation before increasing the steam input. So that increased power generation can be occurred due to increase in kinetic energy or due to an increase in load consumption. So the very first one is kinetic energy, and we all know the kinetic energy is the product of inertial constant and kilowatt rating of the turbo generator. That the unit of kinetic energy is kilowatt into second, and we all know the kinetic energy is equal to half of the mv square. That is, it is directly related with the square of the velocity, and we can relate this velocity in machine as with respect to synchronous speed. In linear motion we are calling that as a velocity, but whereas in circular motion we can say that as a synchronous speed. So we can relate this v square to a synchronous speed, and we all know synchronous speed is directly proportional to frequency. So at last we are getting the relation between kinetic energy and frequency, and we are going to take this as a equation number 1. In F naught refers to the steady state system frequency. So now we are going to calculate the kinetic energy for the increased power generation. So because of increase in power generation we are going to have an increase in speed, and it will result in increased system frequency, and that increased system frequency is del F. So at last we are having a system operating at a frequency f0 plus del F, and for that frequency we are going to calculate kinetic energy. So again we can say that actual kinetic energy is directly proportional to the frequency square. Now the operating frequency is f0 plus del F. We can take this as equation number 2. Now we are going to, now this is the standard one, so we can say this as a base equation, and this is the actual equation. So if you are for getting the per unit values, we have to divide the actual value by base value. So here equation number 1 is a base value and 2 is the actual value. So now we are going to divide equation number 2 by 1 in order to get the per unit values. So after dividing this equation, we can write this, simplify this f0 plus del F whole square divided by f0 square as 1 plus del F by f0 square. And this is in the formation of a plus b the whole square. After expanding this one, the next term, we can neglect that one because it is already in the per unit value. The per unit value will be less than 1, so we can neglect that term. So simply we are including 1 plus 2 del F divided by F naught. And now the rate of change in kinetic energy is, because we are going to calculate at the rate of change in the kinetic energy for the happened so-called excess power generation. And if we are going to differentiate this equation with respect to T, we can get this equation. And the second one is rate of change of load with respect to frequency, because we have increased this power generation before increasing the turbine input, and we are matching that power generation, increased power generation with the stored kinetic energy. We are assuming that the power generation might be increased because of that stored kinetic energy in the rotor, and because of that we are having an increased frequency, and because of that increased frequency again we are having the variation in the load consumption. So now we are going to take another factor, that is rate of change of load with respect to frequency, and that change in load with respect to frequency we are calling that as a damping coefficient, and we are going to take this change in load consumption with respect to frequency, so that we are having del F on both sides of this equation. So now the power balance equation, so already we are having balance equation is del Pg minus del Pd equal to net surplus power. So del Pg minus del Pd will be equal to, that net surplus power is happening due to two factors. First one is due to rate of change in kinetic energy, and another one is rate of change in load consumption. So this equation, that is entire power balance equation, can be the addition of these two factors, right? And now we are going to convert this in terms of per unit. So per unit in the sense PR is the rated value, that is a power rating. So if we are going to divide the entire equation by PR, del Pg will be converted into a per unit value, and also del Pd in per unit, and here the PR will get cancelled out, and here we are having B also in the per unit value. And we are, so after taking Laplace transform for this above equation, we will be having del Pg of S minus del Pd of S. It will be equal to 2h divided by F naught, and we can replace this d by dt as S into del F of S plus B into del F of S, and this is the final equation. And now from this final equation we are going to get this del F of S, and after getting the del F of S, we can replace this value as in terms of transfer function, that is Kp divided by 1 plus STP into del Pg of S minus del Pd of S. And this is the block diagram representation for generator and load model, and this Kp by 1 plus STP is the transfer function model for generator load, and it is having two inputs. One is from the turbine output and one from the external load disturbance, that is del PT, or we can say as a del PG minus del PD of S. The output of a generator load is del F of S. So now we'll have a model of load frequency control for a single area system. So in first unit itself we have seen this block diagram, and now we have modeled these individual blocks. The very first block is speed governor, and second one is turbine, and last one is power system, this generator. So now we can combine the individual blocks together to have a modeling of load frequency control for single area system. And in speed governor we had two inputs, that is del PC of S and another one in the negative feedback. It is coming from del F of S. And second one is turbine. It is having input as del XC of S and output is del PG of S. And generator is having two input. One is from turbine and another one is from the external load disturbance. So at last we are having the change in the frequency. So our aim is we have to maintain a constant frequency and also we have to balance this del PD of S by adjusting the steam input, that is a mechanical input coming into the generator, and this mechanical output can be controlled only by adjusting the steam valve by using speed governor. And the speed governor is going to operate mainly by using the command signal being passed by the speed changer, because the speed changer is setting this del Pg of S, because this steam entering into the turbine is being decided by the speed changer, so that we are calling the speed changer is act as the main control in order to have a control on the steam entering into the turbine. So this is the model of load frequency control for single area, or we can say as that as the isolated area in a power system.